Guys, it was so great to have to be able to see you guys on Zoom today, and I look forward to doing Zoom next week as well with you all in the elementary school class. And today I have a really cool project. We're going to work on creating a piece of work that looks like Mark Rothko's work. He's an abstract expressionism artist. What is that? Abstract expressionism. Abstract, so that means it's not realistic, right? He's not painting a chair or some flowers or a tree, right? It's not realistic, it's abstract. And expressionism means he's expressing himself. He's trying to convey emotions. So maybe he chooses colors that might make the viewer feel angry, or maybe it's just soothing and calm, or maybe it just feels hopeful or just happy. So that's abstract expressionism. I'm going to show you a couple pictures of his work. I remember one of the first times I ever saw one of, actually it's not one of the first times. One of the first times I saw Mark Rothko's work with my oldest daughter, and she walked by it and she looked at it and she was like, what is the point? And I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of go, what is this? What am I seeing? And that, I think, is really the key. So when you look, there's a difference between seeing and looking at a piece of art. When it's much like if you're taking a walk around your block, for instance, in the evening maybe, right? And you're walking and you're seeing everybody's house. And you see, oh, they left their tricycle on the driveway. Or you see, oh, somebody was digging in their yard, they must be putting in new plants. And you do this every single day, and that's what you see, things like that. But looking is when you stop and you look, and that's when you discover there's a caterpillar growing in that tree. Someone didn't pick up after their dog. You notice like there's a blossom that hadn't opened yesterday, but it did today. That's looking. That's taking a moment and being present. You probably hear your parents use that word, and focused and really looking, not just glossing over and seeing something, but a little bit deeper. So I'm going to show you. I apologize. Let's see if I can hold this up. So there's 3 of his pieces. His pictures are pretty big. They are typically, they're as tall as I am. So I'm 5'8", and they're wider than I am though. So they would be like, So if we were laying on the floor at school, they'd be as long as I am, and then one of you would have to lay out to the side, and that would be about about 4 feet wide and about 5 and a half feet tall. So here's one. Oh, it's a little bit hard. You might have to look up on the internet, but you can see it's just a very dark black canvas. And this painting is called Black on Maroon. Here are 3 more. So they're very large rectangular pieces with other pieces of rectangles on them. Ooh, here's a bright one. This one's called red, black, white on yellow. Okay, so it's on a yellow canvas that's on the background. And then he has his red rectangle and his black thin rectangle, and then a slightly wider white rectangle. And also, I don't know if you can tell, but his edges are not crisp. They're blended. So they're more along the lines of clouds. They're not cloud shaped. They're definitely rectangles, but they are blurred out. So they're fuzzy. They're a little bit fuzzy. And when you are looking at a Rothko in person, and I hope one day you guys get to go to the Metropolitan Art Museum, or I don't know, there's so many, MoCA, all over the country. The Harn Museum, I don't think has any Rothkos on exhibition right now. They might have one in their storage, but when you look at one, these rectangles are so massive and so big that they're like floating in space. So anyway, let's get started on making one. And okay, so I'm going to show you ways to make these using a couple different techniques and material, because I don't know what you all have at home. So I just want to make sure that no matter what you have, you can try experimenting with this. And so I already got started. I had just a brown paper bag that I cut up, because of course we love recycling. And I just took sidewalk chalk. I'm going to take another piece now. Ooh, remember we saw that bold black in there? And I just started drawing. First I did the background, which was all the dark pink. And then I went in and did a thin red one and another lighter pink in here too. And I think, just to show you how this works, there's my rectangle. This one's going to be a bigger rectangle. And I just color it all in. When I get to the edge of my rectangle though, it's okay if I go outside my lines, because remember, we kind of want it to be a little bit fuzzy. And part of the reason why Mark Rothko's paintings are so dynamic is because he actually uses oil paint, which is a special kind of artist paint. And he used it very differently than most people did. He didn't add water, but he used turpentine to water down his, to thin out, not water down, to thin out his paint. And he would actually paint layers and layers of color. So if I was to explore that idea, I would take, so we already did the blue, right? The black. But I'm going to just make my rectangle a little bit smaller than the first one. And I'm going to color really strongly with a blue chalk. I like this because guess what, guys? We get to get messy again. You could even just take chalk and do this on your sidewalk. Can you imagine? Someone walking down the side of the road and they would come across and they would go, oh, that looks like a Mark Rothko painting. There must be an artist in the neighborhood. I think that's what they would say. There. And I think actually, I lost my thing. I like that look a lot. I'm gonna just make it a little bit bolder. The blue again. So I'm actually doing a second layer of the blue on top and rubbing it in. This time I'm going just a little bit softer rub. And so that would be using sidewalk chalk on a paper bag. That would be one way of doing a Mark Rothko using recycled paper and sidewalk chalk. Last week when we made the masks, remember we made cardboard and we painted it all different colors? Well, I still had some. So here's another cardboard box, and I painted this with a type of black that actually was mixed in with a little bit of blue and red. What does blue and red make? It makes purple. So I like it because it's not like just stark black. It's a little more subtle, and I think that's something that we can appreciate with Mark Rothko's work. So the colors being a little bit more subtle. He was actually, Mark Rothko was born in Russia. And then he moved to Portland, Oregon, which is my hometown, when he was about 10 years old with his parents. Okay, so you've painted a piece of cardboard, one solid color. You don't have to choose the same colors that I've chosen. Choose what you have or what you like, and also think about your emotions. So when I picked to blend a little blue and red with the black, and this, I was thinking serene. I was thinking peaceful thoughts, and also because I really wanted to use this color, which is like a lilac or lavender. So I cut this piece. I got a little bit of extra paint on it. And I cut off a little strip from there. And I'm going to use my glue. And I think I'm going to put it right about there. What do you think? Does that look good? Might straighten it out a little bit. Don't want to be crooked. And then I took another piece of cardboard, only this time, I'll show you. Here's the cardboard Amazon box, and you have to kind of peel it apart. Here we go. See, this is the paper side, and then this is the ribbed side. And that's what I did. You don't get a lot, so it just adds a little texture. And that's the part that I decided to paint. And then I'm going to cut a pretty good size piece out like that. Again, using my glue, rub it all over. Ta-da! There we go. And I have another piece of cardboard, and this time I've painted it red. So I'm gonna cut that now. and glue that on. We're using lots of glue in these art classes the last few times. Okay, so I'm going to put that one actually fairly close. There we go. I like that. But you know what? I think it could just use a little something more. Let's see. I love, maybe we'll use blue. Since we have lavender and yellow and this red, and I'll just do one more layer. This time I'm just using my sidewalk chalk, because we can change things up, right? We get to make the rules about how we're going to do our Mark Rothko inspired work. See, when I say it's inspired, that means it doesn't have to be done exactly the way he does it, but we get our inspiration. We are inspired by his work to create something else for ourselves. And there we have it. Our Mark Rothko inspired cardboard painting or collage. But painting, that's what I was thinking about. So I'm gonna, let's see, can you see way back here? No, you can't. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it. So I'm taking another piece of cardboard, and I'm going to just show you how, oh, I think I know. Let me show you this. Something I was inspired by, one of his pieces is called, let me see. Aha. This one. So this one is called Ochre and Red on Red. So it's a little bit hard to see in this way, but you have ochre as a color. Whoops, I must have clicked on something. Darn it. Please go away. So ochre is a color. And then of course, you know what color red is. So let's use this. You know, I've got my chalk fingers all over it. And I'm going to get my ochre-ish color. This is actually just happens to be a sample paint that I got from Lowe's or Home Depot or someplace like that. Use my muscles to open it. And I just want to show you. Okay, so in that picture, the first square, the ochre colored square, is rather large. And one of the things that wasn't very clear on the computer screen when I showed it to you is that there was also a red rectangle below this one. It was just a slightly different red. Okay, so there we have my rectangle, right? But remember how I said that he likes to kind of blur the edges? So what I'm going to do is I'm taking a dry brush. This one hasn't touched water yet. And I'm going to just kind of, I don't know if you can see me doing this. There we go. I'm kind of blurring the edges just a little bit. And the reason why I'm using a dry brush instead of a wet brush is it helps add a little bit of texture. Also, if it was a wet brush, it might run down the cardboard, and that wouldn't be what we're after. That's not that kind of abstract painting are we doing. Okay, like that. And then, where is it? Oh, my other red. Maybe if I can open it. Ah, where is my, oh, I'm going to have to choose a different red because that one's just not opening. Neither is this one. Okay, let's see. Luckily, I have lots of jars of paint around. Aha! So this isn't red, but we understand. We know what we mean to do. And now I'm just going to add this one. Ooh, I actually kind of think I like this color combination even better. It's kind of a yummy berry color. And again, just blurring the edges a little bit, tapping out the paint all the way around on all four sides, just to blur the edges. We could even just use our finger to blur it in too, right? Because it's always okay to get a little bit messy when you do art. And there we have it. That's one just using paint. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment and that you learned just a little bit about Mark Rothko. And I hope, most importantly, that you remember to not just see a piece of art, but look at it. And that's true about everything in life. It's always good to take a good look at something. See what more you can find, what more you can learn, and observe. Well, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you have fun, and I can't wait to see some samples of your work. Take care, and I'll see you on Zoom next week. Bye.